In today's 23-24 single season rebuild, we're going to be headed to Gran Canaria as we take on Las Palmas. Las Palmas in the 22-23 season got themselves promoted back into La Liga, and in today's video we're going to see if we have what it takes to keep them there. To kick things off, let's have a quick look at their current best 11 and the formation that their assistant manager reckons that they would play at the start of the season. They like to play in a 4-3-3 with a holder protecting the back four and wide players causing problems and getting the ball to the man at the top. Looking at some of the key players, they have Eric Cabello, a rugged centre-back with a physical style. Jonathan Vieira has been at the club for a while now, playing anywhere as an attacking midfielder. He gives us options, only age is against him. Alberto Malero is a tricky homegrown winger who will do well to keep hold of the hot prospect. Finally, up top they have journeyman striker Sandro, who will rely on to get us the bulk of our goals. Looking at the club's finances shows how hard this challenge could be. There is £1 million available to spend, but with the club overspent on wages, it might be better off if we use it to balance the books. Despite being a promoted team, the board will be looking for us to put in a good fight in La Liga. With next to no transfer funds though, they may be being too ambitious when they want us to try and sign high reputation players. With a clear picture of everything going on at the club, it's time for us to start to prepare for the first transfer window as we look to build a squad for the first half of the season. To start the window off, I tried to raise some funds by moving on Clau Mendes, allowing him to go and join Andorra. Nuke Mafulu followed him out of the club as he sealed a move to Levante. The final player allowed to leave was Kirian, with the 28-year-old midfielder going off to join Elche. So after all that business, we have now raised £2 million to spend, whilst also correcting the wages overspent from the start of the game. With money now available, let's see what we can do in terms of incomings. The first player to arrive is Argentine Mariano Gomez, a 25-year-old centre-back who will be a squad player. Next up is former Real Madrid Castilla player Juan Miguel Latasa. He's an out-and-out striker with a lot of potential and could partner Sandro. And the final player is another Real Madrid Academy graduate who comes to us via Cadiz. Antonio Blanco is a 23-year-old central midfielder who should slot nicely into our team. With that business done, the transfer window is complete and we have spent all of the £2 million that was available to us. But the bigger problem though is that we are once again overspent on wages, so we'll have to try and sort that out in January. Lastly, before we kick off the season, this is the tactic I'll be using and the projected starting 11 for the first game of the season. So with the summer transfer window now closed, it's time for us to head into the first half of the season and see how we can perform in the run up to the 1st of January. At the start of the season, we found it difficult readjusting to life in La Liga. We lost the first game of the season 2-0 to Cadiz before a 3-0 loss to Celta Vigo. But we didn't have to wait too long for our first victory with a shock 2-1 win over Real Sociedad. That would kickstart our season and led us on a run of wins which included Seville 2-0, Osasuna 5-2 and beating Girona 2-0. Sadly though, our winning run was stopped by Granada as we lost 1-0. From there we had 2 draws, a 2-2 against Villarreal and an impressive 3-3 against Real Madrid. We couldn't use that good performance though as a building block as we lost 2-0 to Betis in the next game. But we got back to winning ways against Alaves with a 3-0 victory and followed that up with a 6-2 win in the Spanish Cup. Our momentum running into January though would be halted once again as we would lose 1-0 to Mallorca. So with half the season complete, as of the 1st of January, we are currently sat 6th in La Liga and we have 30 points. We have qualified for the Spanish Cup's second round. In La Liga, we have played 18 times, winning 9, drawing 3 and losing 6. We have a 6-goal difference and we are on 30 points. On the Club Vision page, the board would score us with an A+, as they are thrilled with our league performances. The only problem they have is the predicted signing of high-profile players. Coming into the January window, it is clear we are in a sell to buy scenario with no transfer budget and a wages overspend. And let's have a quick run through of the summer signings to see how they have impacted the season so far. Mariano Gomez has indeed been a rotation option, but his overall appearances, he has had 15 and he has chipped in with an assist. Juan Miguel Latasa has had a good start to life at the club. He has started 17 games and scored 7 goals in all competitions. And finally, Antonio Blanco has been a true first teamer, making a midfield position his own by starting 19 times, scoring 1 and assisting 1 too. With the first half of the season now complete, let's head into the January transfer window to see if we can add any reinforcements to help us in the second half of the season. The first player to leave the club in the winter transfer window was Alex Suarez. Unhappy at his playing time, he decided he wanted to move to Leganes. And the other player to depart is Mr. Reliable himself, Eric Cabello. A sensible offer came in from Levante, and we decided it was now the right time to cash in. With those two players leaving, we actually didn't raise any transfer funds, but we did address the wages overspend. And that meant that we couldn't sign any players in the winter window, and we would have to kick on with the squad that we have. As of the 31st of January, we are now sat in 7th place in the table. We played 22 games and racked up 37 points. With the January transfer window now shut and our business being complete, let's head into the second half of the season to see how we get on. We kicked off the second half of the season with a difficult game against Atletico Madrid. Sadly, we would lose that game 3-2. We would though bounce back quickly, winning 2-1 against Almeria, and that game put us on a good run of wins where we beat Getafe 3-2 and Girona 3-1. However, Valencia put an end to that run with a 1-0 win against us. We then hit a difficult period where we drew 2-2 with Villarreal, lost 1-0 to Real Madrid, and had a 2-2 draw against Bilbao. Our next win would come in a great game though against Betis away, where we went there and won 4-2. That was followed up with wins over Alaves and Mallorca, before a reality check from Barcelona on the run-in to the end of the season. So after 38 games back in the Spanish top flight, we have finished the season in 6th place and we have qualified for the Europa League. We managed to score 64 points from 38 games. Unfortunately, our cup campaign came to an end at the hands of Seville. In La Liga though, we had a record of 19 wins, 7 draws and 12 losses from 38 games, and we finished on an 11 goal difference and 64 points. The board have scored our efforts a B+. They are happy about everything we achieved, but were disappointed about some of the losses in the league. And finally, let's have a look at our signings and how they influenced the season. Starting off with Mariano Gomez, the Argentine would start 22 games and score 8 goals with a single assist. Juan Miguel Latasa would become a mainstay of the first team, playing in 38 games, scoring 13 goals and gaining 4 assists. And finally, Antonio Blanco, who took first team spot and never looked back, with the midfielder playing in 38 games, scoring 3 and assisting twice. So after a brilliant first campaign back in the top flight, we have achieved a 6th place finish and have brought European football to Las Palmas. So a fantastic single season rebuild come to an end at Las Palmas. We have managed to finish 6th in the league and we have qualified for European football. Right then, if you're still with me at this point of the video, firstly a big thank you. Secondly, if you don't mind hitting that like and subscribe button to help the channel out, I really would appreciate it. Cannot thank you all enough for helping the channel to grow across the past couple of months. It really has been a joy to watch. Before you go, don't forget to check out the rest of the channel. There is other things available. We have hints and tips, let's plays, Wonder Kid videos, tactics, a little bit of something for everybody right here on the channel. For this one though, I'm going to leave it there. Big thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video very soon.